Hello, I'm Leandra from PaperArtsy, and today we're going to show you how to use our Satin Glaze to transfer an inkjet printed image onto fabric. Satin Glaze is a product which we use to thin out the paint that we have in our Fresco Finish acrylic paint range. So it's something that you can use to add translucency to our opaque paints. It also can be used as an adhesive, and like it says on the label, it can be used as a sealant, as a glaze. This has a satin finish, which means it's quite a matte effect finish. Now for this technique, this is a technique that I've been demonstrating for many years. I've written articles in magazines on it on numerous occasions. I think I've probably blogged about it quite a bit. This is my favourite way to transfer images. A lot of people use laser or toner based transfers, and they're really I find them quite time consuming because you often have to rub the paper off the back of the image. This is a much faster way to transfer an image. So all I've done is put a little puddle of glaze onto the fabric, and I'm kind of rubbing that in, but it needs to be shiny and wet, and because the fabric is quite absorbent, sometimes all of the product sinks into the fabric and you kind of want to have a little bit left on the surface. Not loads, but just a little bit. I can see there's a thread there that's going to annoy me. Let's get rid of that guy. Okay, so I've got a nice even layer of satin glaze on there. I'm going to take my image and I'm going to roll it on here. Now I'm putting the people in the middle. I haven't got the product all the way up to the edges on this. So I just roll that image into the satin glaze. And now I'm going to take my finger wrapped in a baby wipe so that it glides on the surface, and I'm just gently rubbing the back of this acetate to ensure that it's come into contact with the satin glaze sitting in the fabric there. And you don't want to do this too hard. If you press really hard, sometimes what happens is if you've got a lot of satin glaze there, it will sort of squidge out and you'll start to see your image blurring. So you really don't need to press hard at all. It's like I say, just to ensure that you've got no air bubbles underneath there. Now at this point, you could walk away and leave it for 10 minutes and come back. You could even leave it overnight and come back, because you haven't got any chance of permanently sticking your plastic acetate to your fabric. So if you're a bit, scared about when to lift it off, then I suggest you do that. I suggest you just sort of leave it for 10 minutes, go and have a cup of tea, a cup of coffee, come back and pick it off a bit later. Now, I'm thinking that this is probably long enough, so I'm just giving it one little rub, and then I'm going to start peeling it to see if the ink has transferred. And you see, you just peel it from one corner and then just gently lift it back. And that really is all you need to do. You can leave that to dry naturally, or you can zap it with a heat tool if you like. But I think of all the transfer techniques I've done, this has got to be one of the best results and one of the fastest. I'll show you a couple of ideas, a couple of ones that I've done earlier so that you can see what the fabric is like. This one here, the fabric is still really pliable. So when it's all dry, you can easily stitch through it with a sewing machine. Sometimes it's nice to pad out images a little bit. You could go around the edge with a sewing machine, you could hand stitch, add all sorts of embellishments to it. You could also paint the edges of your fabric if you like. If you want to have this frayed look, make sure you fray your fabric before you do your transfer, because once the transfer has dried, you really can't pull those fibres apart, so you wouldn't be able to fray it afterwards. Here's another one, same sort of thing. It's just so much fun. I love it. I love doing these things, and of course you can do it with any of your scrapbooking photos, any of your family photos. It's just a great way to have it work in a different medium. And then here's another little sample that I did. This is sort of more the sort of thing that I tend to do with them. I've put it inside a frame, I've painted some canvas which is stuck to a tag, and then just embellished it with the die cut metal card. That's actually a crocheted little thing that's been spray painted, and some of the new brads that we've got in at the moment with detail on them. So I hope you have a lot of fun having a go at that technique. Remember, all you need to do is get some Inkjet printed acetate to print onto, and then have fun transferring your own photos onto fabric. Catch you later.